another Stash Smash Saturday. Don't forget to check out Becky's channel, linked down below. We decided to get together and do this series because we both realized we have so many collections that are just so close, or we just have used them enough or played with them enough that we just set them aside and kind of forgotten about them. So this is a way for us to try and smash them, get them done so we can make room for new stuff, because we both do not have a lot of space in our crafting areas and we both are running out of good organizational space. So we decided to smash those kits, smash those collections, anything that's either a kit or collection that's almost done. I had played with this last month, the last Saturday. There was a big enough piece left that I figured I should probably try to get her smashed this time. I'm going to play along with Sandy's Follow a Sketch February, and we're going to play it with this lovely sketch. So I've picked a couple photos, actually from October of 2014, of my son crawling along the floor with his grandpa. I thought these would be perfect to cut into circles to go with that sketch, and then I can pull in some flair that I got from Dottie About Flair, because I have some lovely jumbo flair and some fall ones, so those would go really, really well. Plus, so not only are Becky and I doing that and challenging ourselves with that, but I have items that I also need to use. Where are they? Okay. So I need to use chipboard, a cut file, doilies, ink, gems, washi, and letter stickers. Okay. We pick 7 items for each other. She chose 7 items for me. I chose 7 items for her, just so we have a little bit more, but our goal is to use at least 5. So I've got to figure out 5 items to use. I wonder if I have a cut file hiding away. I am on the Confessions of a Paperhead Cut Files design team, but I do have some other cut files pre-cut that I used to get that I no longer get, so I need to figure that out. And I'm noticing I already have one. Nope. I also keep track on this list of things I need to get done. So I have to think about that as well. I probably can easily do some doilies. So I'm going to gather some of that stuff, figure out what I can use, and we'll go from there. So let's get started. So I decided to pull out my favorite, a wood grain, because, yep. So these pictures are technically taken in the fall, but they don't need to be like fall themed. So I am, so that was kind of hard because I didn't, this collection is very fall themed and what I have left is very fall themed. So I'm gluing my, big piece down. That's going to be the main element. And then I'm going to cut a bunch of my photos, or cut my photos down. I cut them all at a different size. And then I'm going to take whatever scraps of pattern paper and cut them a 1/2 inch bigger. So I have mats for all my things. So anyway, so I have all this fall stuff, and these photos aren't necessarily like, they don't scream fall. They were in the fall. But so that was kind of hard to try to like use up as much as I could, but don't necessarily need to like make it fall themed. I don't know what I'm even trying to say. Maybe you guys get the gist of what I'm saying. But anywho, so I'm going to cut all my photos. I end up cutting, I think, one at 4 inches, one at 3.5, one at 3, and one at 2.5, or it might even be 2. The last one might even just be 2 inches. And then, yeah, I don't have a ton of big scrap pieces left. So if it was a long piece, I ripped it in half and put it side by side. And then just cut with a circle 1/2 inch bigger. So, and it's okay if there's a seam, because it's not necessarily going to get covered up. But honestly, you're not going to notice very much after you glue it down. And I had a lot of fun with that, and it worked pretty good. I use Pixie Spray. Is it called Pixie Spray? I think so. What a lot of people use it for, and I've used it for, is to like position stencils on paper, and it just has slight tackiness. You spray it and then you just let it dry, and then it's just slightly tacky, so that it stays in place, but it doesn't actually like adhere to your page. So I actually use that on my cutter because I don't like the fact that you have to have a big piece to cut it into a perfect circle. And I don't like the fact either sometimes that when you put the big piece on there, it like pokes a hole in it. So I'd found that cut file. It is a cut to you cut file. It's pre-cut for me when I was doing the Creative Cuts Club. I just am not anymore because I have so many things I need to use. I cut out a lot of clubs. The only club or thing I am a part of right now is Scrap Room Reflections stencil kit, a month, stencil club. So you get a stencil each month. So I'm excited to see what February's is. First one was January with snowflakes, which was perfect because I needed snowflakes. I didn't have a snowflake stencil, which is odd. Back to what I was talking about. So I had cut off a few pieces of that cut file and just figured I would tuck them in amongst the circles. I went ahead and glued all of them down on their pattern papers, distressed all the edges, and then inked up all the edges of those little circles from the cut file, and with my and these pattern papers with some antique linen distress oxide to use my ink. So that way I have that. So I have my cut file and my ink done. I'm going to use one of them, dark blue doily, and back that one photo I have in a dark blue doily and pop that one up on foam. So I've got doily used. I need to use gems. I have these gems that they're not sparkly. They're like a matte white gem, and they're a gem because they're not smooth. Like they definitely have like ridges like a gem, and it said gem on the package. I know it did. So I'm using those. And I have letter stickers I'm going to use. And I'm going to use some flair. And I went and dug in my stash to find whatever chipboard I could find. So I'm getting those all glued down and then gluing down those circles. And then I'm just going to build off of that. And then I'm going to get some of my flair out that I've got there and put some of those down. I noticed on the sketch that there was like lines going across on the kind of the top and the bottom of that square. I decided to take a piece of some... Oh, and I did... Oh, that's right. I forgot I did that because you can barely see it. I did take one of these distressed... stamps too that has like a bunch of different dots, and did stamp with that as well. Just add a little something at the ends. You can kind of see it when you're looking at it, not super close. Kind of adds something. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it, but I stamp it a few different areas just to add some more touches of ink for my ink thing that Becky told me I needed to use. And so I trimmed down this one pattern paper, and I decided to tuck that behind things to kind of extend it, make it look like it was a long piece of paper. And I'm going to extend it all the way out to the ends, though, of the background paper, not just that plaid paper or that checker paper. I'm going to extend it all the way out to the wood grain paper, and I kind of like that look. It adds just a little bit more of that blue, and it adds just a little something, and I really like the way that looks. I'm glad I kind of noticed that was in the sketch. It didn't go all the way to the ends of the paper, the complete edges on the paper or the page on the sketch. It stayed within that inner square, but I liked the idea of extending it all the way out, and I had everything glued down already. It was going to be really hard to cut it to the ends of the checker paper, so this is what I did instead. But I actually like the way that turned out. So like I said, I've done all that. I'm going to adhere those flair down that I've kind of picked out. I do use a couple of the foam thickers that are on the thicker sheet for this collection. And I also dug through my stash and found a bunch of chipboard. So I found 3 chipboard arrows that I kind of had left in my stash. I'm going to use those. I'm going to use, and then I forgot, my room is just a chaotic mess. And from not having enough space to store everything. Things aren't getting stored where they should get stored. Things are not getting organized where they should get organized, and that's what I'm having a problem with. So I found some chipboard that I actually was using. I think it was in a kit from December, maybe, Product Focus Friday, possibly. I'm not sure, completely sure, but I think that's where it was from. Yeah, I'm going to use that chipboard, and there was things like just some round things. There's some other things that were not round, but some round things like a button, a little yellow thing that says 25 cents, a little 8-ball, a 3-ball, I found another, like a checkers piece, just like game type things. I think it was like an old Echo Park boy collection, I want to say. Just some, yeah. So I'm just going to put those, kind of scatter them around, tuck them in places, so they just look like more parts of the circles. I'm going to use one ephemera piece that says fall on it, and I did tuck that up there. And then I'll use these matte gems eventually. So I will tuck some of them in amongst around all the things, but then I really liked the way it accidentally looked when I had some fall below my title, and so I end up putting 5 above and below where my title is, and you'll see that here in a little bit. But it just kind of showcased them, and then I used more gems up, right? If I can use everything up and don't have to use them on all my layouts, that would be fine, I feel like. So, yeah. What am I doing now? Okay, putting all those other chipboard pieces away. So yeah, there were a lot of pieces. I remember being a pretty big sheet that I punched all those out of. So I end up deciding to use this word boy, and this after I put follow me grandpa down, and so I'm going to put oh boy, follow me grandpa. It makes sense, it doesn't make sense. Either way, I'm using things up, and that's really all that matters. And then adding those gems on the top and bottom, and then journaling. So there was a lot in there. I don't even know if I was talking appropriately to what I was doing, because I feel like I was fiddling with a lot of little things, and I'm looking at a tiny, tiny screen. But here's some close-ups for you. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next Saturday. Bye!